Cafe anyway.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 2235, Mike Matthews. And we are doing the show that is called
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Somebody showed me a graphic of how many people actually listen to podcasts as compared to radio stations. And I must say, I gasped because it looks like radio's got like 41% of people listening and podcasts is like 8%. Good for us.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Good for us podcasters, yes. And thank you for listening here at Cafe Anyway, somewhere in
Mike's
Podcastro Valley,
Daily
where it's crazy cold.
Podcast.
Just out of the blue, got no more blue sky, and got cold. And here we are on a cold day. I didn't know that in the Bay Area, we've got so many fantastic little plants that we can grow just as easily as we grow weeds. We can grow these plants because, well, as this writer said, we have a warm winter Mediterranean climate. Microclimates in certain parts of the Bay Area allow for the successful cultivation of more subtropical trees and vines than you might suspect. Let's see. They have a thing here where they are talking about how do you know if your property is in one of the sweet spots where you can grow great stuff. Besides that soupy fog, there should be little threat of frost and daytime temperatures that climb above 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, that's not Podcastro Valley. We sometimes get way above that. These spots occur mostly within a narrow strip along the coast, which includes some of San Francisco Bay's east side frontage. There are some perennial trees and vines that here are recommended.
And here's today's podcast picture.
And it's of a vine. No, it is of me walking along this street in Podcastro Valley, this nice little country road area. And my lovely lady friend and I like to walk it. Oh, my lovely lady friend got her first shot today. Check this out. She got her first shot. I got my first shot a week ago. Yet when they asked her to return back, the date they want her to return back for the second shot is the same date I have been asked to come back. So somehow she gets hers 1 week faster than me. And I know, Basil, yes. Yes, it's a whole new world, Basil. You would find very fascinating with vaccines and all that. There. He's done saying what he wanted to say. My lovely lady friend showed me a little video, perhaps you've seen it, of a mom, a retriever. Not the golden retriever, the other color. Yellow retriever, white retriever, one of those. And she's walking into this area and all her little pups are clamoring, trying to get something to get some food from the mom. And they're all clamoring for her. And it's all of a sudden the dog just barks at him. The mom dog just, because the dogs are like coming at her like hot. They're all just, I'm hungry. And she just barks at them all. And they all just like get quiet and they lay down and they have that look like a dog looks when it looks like it's feeling guilty. And they're all quiet. And then one dog like tried to get up and go over to her and she barked at it and it laid down again. And wow. This mom was taking control and yelling at her pups. It was crazy. All right, passion flower. This tropical vine vigorously cloaks fences and arbors as it climbs in a single bound. It also creates copious blossoms to feed your resident pollinators through the summer. Ah, that means hummingbirds. Those are cool. And bees. Yes, bees. But as for someone who had bees living in his house for a while, for about 3 months, this was doing the math in my head real quick. 7 years ago. Yes, they were living in my chimney, and they would come in through the chimney, and they would just sort of once they got into the house, they'd get all depressed and die. It was sad. They'd fly towards this window to think they thought they were getting out, but they would just wear out and die. Well, I tried to get some of them out, and I tried to block off the chimney, and I tried everything. I even called up beekeepers. I called up people that could remove hives from chimneys, but they said, oh yeah, we're basically going to have to destroy your house to get to this hive. It was a fun time. In the end, I got them to leave, and they're gone, and they haven't come back. And I had to pay somebody to do it. Someone with a license to do this sort of thing. And I still have my chimney. Although here's the thing, is I haven't used it. Actually, today would be a good day to use it since it's so chilly today. But in the Bay Area, we get so many of these spare the air alerts. Even in the winter, that when do you get to use your chimney? It's crazy. Perhaps it's time just to get rid of the chimney, or to stop burning wood in the chimney and just put a bunch of nice candles. So it looks like a heart video, music video. Okay. Let's see. Then there's also, you can make a homebrewed kombucha with the passion flower. Pineapple guava. I used to eat this regularly. There was this place when I used to walk Basil the Boxer, the late great Basil the Boxer, we would walk past this pineapple guava bush, and they would just be falling on the ground, and they'd be fine because they have a thick skin. It's the meat inside that's pretty good, but I got sick. I ate too many of them. I'm sick of it now. An incredibly versatile tree. In its native Brazil, it is called the feijoa. Loves the Bay Area climate. Maybe that's feijoa. It's, as we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley. Its summer flowers are edible and sweet, and the late fall ripening fruits are great for making jam. Actually, I've had pineapple guava jam, and it's The plant handles a wide range of water budgets, from wet and lush to arid and seasonally dry, and it can be trained into a narrow area and still yield fruit. It also works well as a screening shrub for privacy. That's what this one house uses it. And they just completely don't even use any of the pineapple guavas. Plant 2 or more for optimal pollination. And then there's also the strawberry guava. This offers ripe fruit in December. So this is a really late vine. Is it a vine? Well, it's a ripening plant late in the year. Rugged, resilient, and fairly easy to grow. The tree reaches only 3 to 6 feet tall, so almost anyone could fit one into their yard. It likes full sun, though, wet, well-drained soil, and frost protection like you might get under the house's eaves on a south-facing wall. I have never used one of those or eaten one of those. Amazing. So we're outside a cafe anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley. If you're thinking of, like, let's say someplace else, maybe you don't live in the Bay Area. Maybe none of this information has helped you. Although if you are in the Bay Area, grab someone's pineapple guava that has fallen on the ground by their house. As long as it's not turned brown, you don't want to eat that. You'll get sick. I know from experience. Maybe you're traveling around the world. Maybe you are going to use Airbnb. Remember how no one was using Airbnb for a while and their stock was dropping? And then I think they went public right around that time. Or they waited a couple of months and then they went public. Oh, that was late last year. That's right. Now I'm hearing more and more people using it again. And I recently got an email from them because I've used them before. I'm not the biggest fan of Airbnb. I don't like, that's all cool and everything, that a nice localized, non-corporate person is giving you a house to stay in, and it's all homey and personalized and whatnot. But I've had 2 really bad experiences, and hotels have fared much better. Even motels have fared much better. So I'm just not. No, that's okay. But here's their little ad that says, from a tiny home in Nashville to a snowy cabin in the Rockies or a treehouse in Dallas. Yes, that might sell me. A treehouse in Dallas. There are amazing and unique stays being wish listed in every region across the United States. And that is their big sell. This uniqueness that they offer. And there was a place in Santa Cruz that I went to. And the guy started cooking at 4 a.m. because Thanksgiving was coming up. It was around my birthday. Oh my gosh, woke me up. Was terrible. That's why I am not a fan. Real quick here. Hagfish. The hagfish is a sinuous tubular animal with pink-gray skin and a paddle-shaped tail. Looks very much like an eel. Naturalists can tell you the two apart because hagfish, unlike other fish, lack backbones and also jaws. Look at the hand holding the fish will be one way someone described it. Is it completely covered? Oh, yeah. Is it completely covered in slime? Then it's a hagfish. They're known for their slime. They produce a slime the way humans produce opinions. Readily, swiftly, and defensively, and prodigiously. This is from The Atlantic. They slime when attacked or simply when stressed. A truck full of hagfish overturned a couple years ago on an Oregon highway. The animals were destined for South Korea, where they are eaten as a delicacy, but instead they were strewn across a stretch of Highway 101, covering the road and at least one unfortunate car in slime. Typically, a hagfish will release less than a teaspoon of gunk from the 100 or so slime glands that line its flanks. And in less than half a second, that little amount will expand by 10,000 times, enough to fill a sizable bucket. Reach in, and every move of your hand will drag the water with it. It doesn't feel like much at first, as if a spider has built a web underwater. But try to lift your hand out, and it's as if the bucket contents are now attached to you. Yikes, I never heard of that before. And finally, AstraZeneca. Yes, here in America, of course, we've got the Moderna, the Pfizer, and the, well, Johnson & Johnson. They're still paused as far as I know. AstraZeneca, and that's me. That's me not knowing. Just think, the average person really thinks Johnson & Johnson is gone, basically. And everybody's back to the 2-shot minimum like we were earlier this year. So why AstraZeneca is getting no thanks? They have vaccinated millions. When the chief executives of AstraZeneca made the commitment to work with Oxford University on its coronavirus vaccine last spring, the European Union has since accused it of delays in supplies while accusing it also of making an inferior product. They can't win. They had U.S. trials done in late March, only to be slapped down hours later by an independent monitoring board. So they are not in the U.S. The company had not committed to rolling out its vaccine at a cost it could have made $21 billion. Instead, its value has fallen by $27 billion. Wow. And my cousin in Germany, she said that she'd rather take the Sputnik vaccine from Russia. Now, that really scares me. People here that are scared of taking Moderna and Pfizer, and over there. And then it was the Pfizer vaccine. I have an uncle in Germany that was telling me the Pfizer vaccine was created in Germany by a couple that were actually people who had moved to Germany from Turkey. if I have my correct vaccine there that I'm stating. Oh, by the way, Edible East Bay for the story about passion flowers, pineapple guava, and strawberry guava. Outside a cafe anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley, looks to hear Pearson there. Hello, Michael Mash, it's Madame Rootabega, and I like the way you talk. Oh, and I like the way you walk. Why? What is it about the way I walk? Well, the foot goes in front of the other foot. That's pretty cool. Do you like to walk? Yes. Do you like this cold weather we have lately? Yes. Do you want to talk about like the news that came out today about the trial and all that stuff? No. Good. Because we will leave that to all the shows that you are watching on television right at this moment. They're all talking about it. Look who else is here.
Oh, day, Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant.
And it's Bison Bentley. Do you know that?
Mike, that's really great that you did a podcast today, D.
Yeah, podcast. Do you know that? Thank you. Hundreds of fast food restaurants are closing right now. Interestingly, hundreds. Like Starbucks closed a bunch of stores and other fast food people. Isn't that in a time when maybe they can't deal with all the food being bought through the delivery people? Is it that? I mean, we actually eat out quite a bit, my lovely lady friend and I. I mean, we don't eat out, we get the food to go. But yeah, maybe people aren't so excited about fast food items anymore. They want the stuff that's a little more care is put into it. Who knows? Next show, it'll be the wonderful Benita. No, it's going to be Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, and John Deere the engineer. You can chime in about anything we talked about. 336mm daily. That's 3 plus 3 equals 6. MM is in Mike Matthews. Daily is in what this podcast tries to be. Take it away, strange voice person.
Call now. 336MM Daily.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com.
Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com.
See you tomorrow. Bye!